Hey, I'm Kathleen from Katalytic Empowerment. Thanks so much for being here in this last part of this chores and payment series on making money smart kids. Please like and subscribe to help me build this channel. And don't forget to check out the opportunity for parents to easily create money smart kids linked in the description below. Okay, so in parts 1 and 2 of the series, we talked about developing kids' character, responsibility, independence, accountability, time management, confidence by getting paid for some of their work and making some financial decisions with their own earnings, and how this can set them up for greater success for the rest of their lives. We also talked about 4 common payment methods for work or chores, but we also noted that there are, of course, times when our kids won't get paid for helping, whether at home or in the community, and also how giving kids an allowance just because they're part of the family and not having it tied to any work really doesn't represent reality, and it can actually be a disservice to the kids. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2 yet, I encourage you to do that since they build on each other. So here in part 3, we're going to talk about how to encourage and empower our kids with the work that they have and how that can build even more character. So have you ever given your child a task or a chore and they just didn't do it well, or they grumped about it, or didn't take ownership of it? I'm sure you have. We all have. So how do we empower our kids to take ownership of a task or a chore? Well, I covered one way in my video about whether we treat our kids like human beings or human doings. I encourage you to watch that to help make more sense of what I share here. That's over in the building character section of my YouTube channel. Another great way to empower our kids to take ownership of their tasks or chores is to stop buying certain things for them and instead let them earn towards purchasing the items themselves. This worked for my kids and for many parents that I've spoken to and interviewed over the past 20 years. In earlier parts of this series, we touched on using a goal toy or something that they're saving for, something they've got their eye on that they're really excited about, as a motivator for working to earn money instead of always getting what they want from parents or grandparents or being told no. How about we empower them? Another piece to this is allowing your kids to have some control and choice with their chores and jobs. Let me explain. For some parents, this includes letting them decide which chores they want to do, with each chore having a certain dollar amount attached to it. Our family did not handle it that way. We had a standard list of chores for each child, and they only got paid their allowance if they did all of them. Either way, allowing the child some independence and accountability with their chores will empower them as well. For example, after giving your kids enough guidance, and I say enough because some are going to need more than others, enough guidance, instruction, and modeling of how to carry out their particular job or chore, or with their finances, step back, be patient, and give them some autonomy so they can work through things themselves. If they're unsure or get stuck, encourage them to ask you questions without you continually telling. Allow them to experiment. I love that word. Allow them to experiment and falter or shine so they can test their abilities and learn. H. Stanley Judd said, if you're not failing, you're not growing. So give your kids the opportunity to fail. Have you used this technique already when you taught your child to tie their shoes or button their clothes or ride their bike? If you have, then applying this to the chores and tasks or payment won't be that big of a stretch. With money that they've earned, allow them to decide what they'd like to spend their spendable cash on. Give them the freedom to exercise opportunity costs so they can see firsthand that by using their money on something now, short-term gratification, means they won't have that money later for something they may consider more important. But then let them make that decision. It's theirs to own. With chores, after demonstrating a few different times how to accomplish a task, like making their bed, washing the kitchen floor, cleaning the bathrooms, whatever, allow them to do it their way and experiment on how to accomplish the task in a way that gets the job done to your satisfaction, but works well for them, kind of how they're wired. It might not be the way that you'd go about it, but that's okay. By giving our kids opportunities to make their own decisions and the opportunity to fail and overcome disappointment, they'll not only learn, but they'll realize that they're not helpless. It encourages competence, independence, and resilience in the face of frustration, which will serve them for their whole lives, and it'll be better for us parents too. And as they develop competence in jobs that they've taken on and in the money that they manage, they'll become more capable over time and be able to take on greater responsibilities with confidence. But the fact is that your kids are not going to just learn this stuff for themselves without your help and guidance. Intentional parenting takes work. I know you know that. There is a payoff though. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. What if I could show you an easy way to make most of this a reality for your kids that would transform their financial future, whether they're currently 6 or 17 or somewhere in between? I can, and it's not as hard as you think, because instead of you having to figure all of this out on your own, like I did, through reading, watching videos, conferring with other parents, there's already a program out there that exists for your kids that accomplishes much of what I've covered in parts 1 through 3 of this Money Smart Kids series. In addition to all the things I do for parents, I'm also an ambassador for this program because I believe in it so strongly. I've linked it below for you to investigate so you can make this reality for your family. You hold the power to your child's financial future. What will it look like? So, to quickly summarize this series, being paid for hard work, developing a spirit of contentment rather than entitlement, and developing confidence, independence, and confidence will all stick with our kids the rest of their lives. Learning how to be responsible for some of their financial decisions from a young age will increase their financial know-how so when they hit young adulthood, they hopefully will be wise enough not to succumb to all the financial temptations that our culture has for them. Again, please consider dropping a comment and checking out the resources below for your family. Until next time, take care.